am my boxable dispenser.
Hey, we are back. I'm Charlie. This is Establish the Pass. Before we get going, go ahead and Eric Berger, my old co-host, friend of mine. This is for you. Before we get going, hit that sub if you haven't already on YouTube. Hit that notification bell to get notifications when I drop a video or go live. If you're watching on YouTube, you can follow me all the places right underneath me on the scroll bar. If you're listening on Spotify, you can follow me at Dallas Cowboys U1 on X. I have a Facebook group called Dallas Cowboys Chat that I just got started last year, and it's a little bitty. I want to grow it, but not too big. But yeah, that's about it. All the places you follow me. And again, that was for Eric Berger. Inside joke, he'll get it. Anyways, we're back in regular season. We're back in regular football. Real football is what I call it. Tackling, rushing the quarterback, hitting the quarterback, top football. Again, it's still limited. Before I even start breaking down any of these players and shit like that, this is all done on limited snaps. So I mean, there's some of these guys that I watched or we've watched. They only got so many snaps. So I mean, you can have 10 snaps and all 10 could be bad. Doesn't mean it's going to be bad for the rest of the game if you got the player, or 10 could be good. Doesn't mean they're all going to be good for the rest of the game. So there's some context with it. It's just, this is just going off what I saw for the short period of time that most of these guys got on snap counts and stuff like that. But overall, we'll start with defense. I thought overall the defense looked good. 4 picks. You can't beat that. Again, you got to go with the context of who they was playing, the backups, but they're backups too. So, I mean, that's even. I'm just saying it was some pretty bad passes, but hey, a fucking pick is a pick. I don't really care how you get it, if it's lucky or who you get it. Excuse me, y'all. Who y'all get against. There was some players on defense I was keeping an eye on more than others. Motzi was one of them. I thought he looked pretty good. There was one play where he got in the backfield. He was able to shed the block and run down the line of scrimmage. He didn't make the play. I believe Overshow made the play, but Motzi was right there. He fell on the pile. He was there to make the play if it needed to be made. I thought that was good. There was one other play where he got pushed back a little bit. Not bad, but more than what you like. But he stood his ground. He was able to still make the tackle. Defense tackle overall was looking at a lot. Rogers is another guy of mine I like, that I think he is the true one tech that everybody wants. He's almost immovable. He ain't gonna give you shit on pass rush at all, but most one techs don't. But as far as filling up a gap or 2 gaps and just staying strong, that he did well. Very seldom did you see him get pushed back or even pushed anything. I mean, he played well. I thought he did good. Could be some bias because that's my guy. I liked him coming out. Carson was another one I was watching because he's been mentioned so much in training camp. I don't think he played as good as he has in training camp, but he still looked pretty good. There was a few plays early in the game that, wasn't as good. But hey, man, like I said, this is the first preseason game. This is all new. I mean, there's still a lot of growing they can do. He's a rookie. So anything you hear me say negative, for the most part, that's just, it's not me trying to be an ass. It's just, I'm just saying what I saw, but doesn't mean that's who he is. And I'm not going to overreact because I've seen a lot of people on X overreacting highly to a fucking preseason game, and I'll get to that at the end of the video. Nealon was another one I was watching. Exactly what I saw in college. He's really good against the run. Show some pass rush stuff that I liked. Again, limited snaps. All these Motzi got limited snaps, which I thought with Motzi, man, I think they should play him a lot more. He might not be like Trey Lance should have played the 3 quarters, but he should have got more snaps, and I really don't know why they didn't give him more snaps. But they're all on limited snap counts. The linebackers overall look good. They fast. Made plays. Overshown look good in his limited snaps. This thing, the kid from Notre Dame, I'm not even going to try to fuck his name up until I get used to saying it. I had a ask Bluff City Cowboys if he even played, because the whole time I was watching the game, I did not never remember seeing him or hearing his name. And he said he did play. He didn't make a play, but he was always in position, which is good because if your name ain't called, that doesn't always mean it's a bad thing. This is why I also like watching games twice before I do this. It's a preseason game. That's why I'm not really worried about watching it twice before I do a video. But a lot of times I like to watch twice because you're always going to catch shit the second time that you didn't catch the first time. But I will go back and rewatch it just for fun, and and I'll try to catch him more, keep an eye on him more. But yeah, that's about it for the defense. Like I said, it's really hard to give a lot of good, strong opinions on anything. And at least it is for me. Obviously, it ain't for others because I see them on X doing it. Because it's who they're playing with, who they're playing against, how much they hold them back, how much the other teams hold them back. So there's a lot of stuff goes with it that you don't know. So I just try to watch individually of just him take the scheme out of it, take who they're facing out of it, and just how did he do? How did that person do? Or how did the whole unit do as a whole? That's what I try to do. On offense, offensive line looked pretty good overall. I know some people. I know the run game first half. I saw somebody post me only averaged 2.7 yards carry. But that's another thing is I'm not really worried about the stat part of it. I just worry about how much push do we have, because there's going to be some breakdowns with a bunch of backups in there of breakdowns of assignments and stuff, and I get that. So I just try to watch overall how do they do, and then I watched individually of each player that I was trying to keep on. Guyton was one of them. Dude looked fucking real good. He was destroying some people out there. BB, another one, looked really good. Another one was Hoffman. I thought he looked good. And that's the thing. BB was my favorite pick in this draft, but I'm not so sure he's going to win the starting job over Hoffman, at least to begin the season, because he's going to have to, because Hoffman's good enough to where BB's going to have to just go far and beyond of what Hoffman can do just to a point where we all see like, whoa, he's got to take Hoffman's spot. If he's just better than Hoffman, slightly better, it's going to be hard, because it's going to be hard for BB to take that spot. But we'll see how that works out. But he looked good. He looked really good at left guard, which is his natural position. His guard is his position anyway, so he should look good there. But he looked good at center too. Not maybe a couple of snaps was kind of iffy, but for the most part, he looked pretty good at center too. John Stevens was another one, but he had such limited snaps. I don't really have a strong opinion on it. He looked good with what I saw. The run game, again, although the numbers didn't show it, I didn't think it looked that bad. Again, you have 3 running backs that didn't even play. I don't know. One of them is definitely going to make the team. I don't know if the other 2 will or not, but still, that's 3 running backs that's not playing. So, got to take that into consideration. But overall, man, yeah, I don't really give a fuck about the W or the L in a preseason game, because it makes me no fucking difference if we win or lose. Just I want to know how we played, how position groups played, and more importantly, how individual players played. Players that I didn't mention Bell. I didn't mention Bell because I know who the fuck Bell is. All right. I mean, he played great, 9 tackles and an interception. But I have confidence in him. I mean, he's not a rookie, and he's not a question mark. These other guys I mentioned are either rookies or question marks, and I don't mean necessarily mean bad question marks. I just mean that we don't know. A couple receivers I didn't mention that I was going to watch was Cropper and Billy Johnson. Johnson didn't really have he didn't have no plays really, a couple kickoffs. But Cropper made a couple great grabs. I mean, he looked good. He was as televised. Again, I'm going to be biased with him because he was one of my pet cats last year that I actually thought was going to make the 53. But yeah, so I might have a little bias, but he looked good. That one pass across the middle where he had to reach back and grab it, that was fucking badass. There was a couple other receivers that I didn't write down that I thought looked pretty good too. Like I said, it's only first preseason game. Next one I'll go more in depth on because there'll be different players playing. And some of the players that played today that only got a few snaps will get more snaps next week, and stuff like that. And in that third preseason game, it'll be a free fall of all the backups going after each other, trying to, make the 53. But as far as Trey Lance goes, I'll mention him. I've seen people saying, well, he needs more time, or he needs to be with the starters, or look, fuck people, what are we doing here? He was drafted in 2022. No, 21. San Francisco gave up quite a bit of draft capital, which shocked me really, to move up to grab him. He only played one fucking year in college. So there wasn't even really a lot of tape on him in college. He basically got drafted for his athletic ability and his arm, which is really, really, he hasn't been able to show it in college. You're taking a chance. San Francisco took a chance by giving up that much draft capital to move up. All right, so he had 2021 and 2022 to prove something to them. This is the most quarterback-friendly offense in the NFL, besides maybe Andy Reid's offense, but even that, I still think Kyle Shanahan runs the most quarterback-friendly offense in the NFL. Even with that, he still could not beat an undrafted free agent and a former first-round bust. And San Francisco was running to trade him to us for a fourth-round draft pick. And we're probably the only one in the NFL would have gave up a fourth for him. So that tells you everything you fucking need to know. All right. So all this time, he needs more time. This is his fourth fucking year. And we're still talking about a guy that needs more time. Somebody asked me today what I thought about him. He looks like a guy who played 1 year in college and is a project. The only difference is he's going into his fourth fucking year. If this was his rookie year, that would be fine. Hell, even if this was his second fucking year, going into his second year, I would understand. This is going into his fourth fucking year. It gets to a point where if you don't get it, you just don't fucking get it. I don't give a fuck how good your arm is or how much athletic ability you have. If you don't fucking get it, you just don't get it. And it's to the point now we have to, I know some people thought, and this is fucking funny, some of you fucks out there actually thought he was going to take Dak's job. And I pause and I don't even know what to say because that's just dumb as fuck. I think a lot of y'all didn't think it. I think a lot of y'all hoped it because y'all don't like Dak and y'all was hoping he could. Well, that's what you get today. If that's who you want as your QB. If you want the first round of a fucking draft next year, then sure. That's who you fucking put in. I expect them to get a little better, but yeah, sure. But I mean, I after 3 fucking years going into this fourth season, at some point you got to just look at him like, fuck it is what it is. I mean, he is who he is. Like I said, the most friendliest offense in the quarterback offense in the NFL gave up on him after 2 fucking years. That should fucking told everybody a lot. I was on board. I didn't really like giving up a fourth, but wasn't that big of a deal to me. To give him a chance, see it. But he's been here for a whole fucking year and learning this offense, and today is what we saw. I'm sorry. He ain't it. That's really all. I mean, I don't mean to be a dick or saying there's never no way. I'm just saying it's going to be a very rare occasion if he ever turns out to be a quality starter quarterback. He might one day turn into a quality backup because right fucking now, he's not even quarterback 2 on our team. Cooper Rush is better than fucking Lance is right now. So I'm not even so sure. I mean, maybe Jerry and them will make it to where he's quarterback 2, even though he didn't earn it. But right now, if you ask 31 GMs across the NFL, they would not have fucking Trey Lance above Cooper Rush. And they would all have Cooper Rush as quarterback 2 and Trey Lance as quarterback 3. I said 31 because the 32nd one is Jerry, and who fucking knows what the fuck he thinks. But yeah, I'm about 15 minutes in. That's about all. Like I said, overall, the offense scored points like they should have known, but the defense did good. The special teams was another thing I was looking at. I think the teams right now are doing 2 things. I think they're testing out some things, and I also think they're trying to hide some things. I think that's why you see so many kicks to the end zone. They're like, fuck it, for 2 reasons. 1, we don't want to show anybody anything. And 2, if you give it to them on a 30, that helps your defense out. That's like that helps show your defense. If you kick off, you just kick an end zone, your defense is going to be forced to play for 30. That gives them some reps too. So I don't think anybody's showing too much right now. I think most of the excitement will come when the season starts and everybody starts showing everything. I might be wrong. Maybe this is maybe they just not meaning to kick it in an end zone and fucking up and practicing. But I actually think a lot of it is just them trying to hide shit and them just, it's preseason, kick it off an end zone. Let's don't show anybody something, put the ball on 30. Our defense needs work anyways. Top thing. So, but I do expect it to be pretty exciting. But yeah, like I said, there's a lot of reaction about us not having no pass rush and our defense tackles we need to start looking for a pass rush and defense tackles. People, this is the thing. We had 11 starters. We have 11 people starting on defense. 9 or 10 of them didn't even fucking play today. And the ones that are backups, they're going to be quality backups that's going to get snap counts, get quite a bit of snaps. They only played a limited amount of snaps. So you got to understand that this got to put some context with this. I mean, when you're missing your best 2 pass rushers and you're missing all your linebackers and you're missing all your DBs, the fucking defense is going to fucking look a little bit fucking different than it did today. So no, I'm not worried about that. I'm always for collecting talent and bringing it. If there's somebody out there, another defense tackle we could use or a defensive end, edge guy, sure, bring him in. But after one preseason game where 9 or 10 of our starters even fucking play, and then probably another 8 or 9 that's going to get quality snaps during the season only played a half a quarter, I'm not really fucking worried about what they look like. Because overall, I thought they did good, considering that all them players didn't play. Like I said, offense, Cooper Rush played the whole game. I think, assuming we would have scored at least one fucking touchdown. But that's what it is. It's what preseason is for, man. It's to fucking look at Trey Lance and see where he's at. It's to look at Mossy, see where he's at. It's to look at Guyton. It's to look at these guys and put them in different positions and shit. And, it's not all coaches want to win, but they're all meant that the win or losses does not affect them. They just want good film or bad film so they can learn from it. That's what this most important thing is about preseason games. If you get the win, that's great. But if you don't, I'm 50 years old, so I watched the Cowboys in the 90s, and they wasn't worth the fucking preseason, and they won Super Bowls. So I'm not really fucking worried about preseason. Preseason for me is I don't watch the win or loss. Don't get me wrong. At the end of the game, I was pulling for us to stop them. Hell, a win is a win, whether it's preseason or not. It makes you feel better, makes you, but it's not. It doesn't depress me. I'm not going to get on X and start bitching about shit about us losing. This typical Cowboy shit. That part of it that doesn't affect me in any way, win or loss. I just watch, like I said, I watch position groups that I'm interested in, and I watch individual players that I'm interested in. And when it came to that, most of the players I watched that I was interested in, most of them played well. Like I said, Carson, he didn't really play well, but other than that, most of them played well. The position groups I was watching, overall, they played well. Again, I'm taking in context, this is the first preseason game. Next preseason game, I'll expect a little bit more out of them because it's the second preseason game. They've learned. They had another week of practice and learn from their mistakes, and we'll see how they do next week. And then we'll see how it goes, man. But anyways, y'all have a good one. Like I said, follow me all the places on the scroll bar. If you're listening on Spotify, Establish the Pass. Again, this is for Eric Berger. Establish the Pass on YouTube. Hit that bell, that sub button. And y'all have a great, great fucking day.